Welcome to Woozy Online Vertigo Recovery Training. I'm Tom Patullo, occupational therapist and acupuncture physician, and this is Esther, our emotional intelligence specialist. Esther, can you tell us a little bit more about emotional intelligence and what you also call EQ?
Yes. So emotional intelligence, or as we like to call it, EI, is the ability to recognize your emotions and behavior and how they affect others and how you interact in the world around you. EQ, or emotional quotient, is the faculty, the score of that emotional intelligence faculty. So as you increase your emotional intelligence, kind of like IQ, so as you increase your EQ, you are growing your EQ, which is the score of that faculty.
Yes, I like that how you tie that in with IQ, because everybody
right.
seems to be familiar with the term IQ.
That's right.
But EQ is quite an unusual term.
That's right.
So it's equivalent, but dealing with our emotions.
That's right.
So you have a phrase that you like to use, and I know this is directed for even our patients who are struggling with symptoms. So what is this phrase that you like to use?
So the phrase I love to use is recognize your level of crazy and manage it with EQ.
Yes, and we're applying this now
Yes.
to patients who are struggling with an inner ear disorder.
Yes.
So when you say level of crazy, it sounds like we're talking about what is it that they struggle with, what is it that they have difficulties, dealing with as far as maybe their emotions.
That's right.
Maybe their frustrations.
That's right.
There's quite a few symptoms that come along with having a condition like
That's
a
right.
vestibular disorder.
That's right.
So especially symptoms of vertigo, dizziness, motion sensitivity, and balance problems. So can you tell us what the emotional impact might be of a vestibular disorder on a patient?
Sure, of course. Those type of symptoms can vary. It could start with something as self-image, self-esteem issues, self-confidence, guilt for not being able to complete daily tasks as you once did before. Maybe there's some tension now in your relationship because perhaps your partner doesn't understand your condition, and so now there's a lot of tensions going on.
Sure.
And as you like to call it, it's an invisible condition.
That's right. That's a very important point.
That's
and
right.
we here at Woozy really understand and have a lot of compassion for those of you struggling with this condition, because many people around you might not understand what you're going through.
That's right.
They can't see you having an ear problem, so they may think that some of these symptoms are all in your head.
Right.
But we know they're in your head.
Right.
They're located in your inner ear,
That's
and
right.
that's what needs to be looked at more closely
Yes.
in order to help you recover. So what tools can EQ offer, or I'm sorry, EI, you gotta get that right. So what tools can emotional intelligence work offer a patient on how to facilitate the recovery?
So some of the tools, and what I like to call, is the awareness diet. And the awareness diet is a step-by-step guide that I created many years ago that kind of helps anyone dealing with a variety of conditions, but here we're talking about the inner ear.
Sure.
And so let's talk about those steps, okay?
Yeah. How would you outline these steps? So this is an awareness diet is a way for someone. Describe what that does for someone when they use the awareness diet.
Well, let's go through the steps.
Okay.
And as we do that, it'll be self-evident, shall we?
Great.
All right. So the first step here is awareness. We know that everything is about awareness. When you really take note of what's happening in your body, in your emotions, what's now transformed your world, and so you're now a little bit more clear about how to move forward.
Well, that's interesting. The vestibular patient is struggling what we call with a sensory processing disorder.
That's right.
So they have a lot of atypical sensory information coming in. So it's kind of disrupting their ability to be aware of themselves and the world around them.
That's right.
So that makes it very difficult. So it's important because I guess awareness here is about recognizing
That's right.
that you can have a big struggle
That's right.
with this condition.
That's right. Number 2 is decision making. Being able to decide what to do and to now start to move forward towards recovery or finding ways to recover, whatever it is, but making a decision to start doing something about your situation.
Well, if you're here looking at this video, right,
That's
that
right.
you've made a decision
That's right.
to find out, one, more about your condition, which
That's
is
right.
awareness,
That's right.
and two, making a decision of what options are there for you to recover. So
That's
those are
right.
two important things to go on to.
Right.
So what's next?
Number 3, take action. And you've obviously taken action because you're here watching our video, so good job on that. And so taking action is a very important step, because you could be aware, you could have made the decision, but you never took an action. And so action is one of the most important key elements to this formula.
Yes, and when you start to do the woozy system, as S is mentioning here, action is one of the most important things. It takes action to perform the woozy system exercises on a daily basis.
That's right.
So that means you have a real priority on making a decision to recover, and that action is the commitment you make to starting that process.
That's right. And then number 4, and this might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but just work with me here, is gratitude, okay? So a lot of times, how can we feel gratitude when we are sick, when we don't feel well? And especially with dizziness and vertigo and wooziness, it's such a difficult condition to deal with. You don't want to be grateful for anything, really, but
many of our patients feel irritable.
That's right.
They're upset. They're
right.
like angry that the doctors don't understand what's happening to them,
right.
or maybe the doctors do understand what's happening to them, but they're still not recovering quite yet. So
right.
it is a frustrating condition to have to deal with.
That's right.
So
when we talk about gratitude, come from a place of that you uncovered something revealed itself. And now you can improve on it, you can fix it, and you can move on.
Yeah, so in a way it sounds like be grateful that you made it this far to this site, that you can get more information, and that there's a process and a hope for recovery.
That's right.
Very good. So what other tools might be available for someone who's going through these emotional challenges of recovering from a vestibular disorder that the emotional intelligence, EQ, can provide them?
So there's a lot of tools on our website, and also on our website there is plenty of places to learn how to connect and stay informed. So that's another way for our patients to get that information.
Yeah, in other words, the Woozy online system will also provide you emotional support in the process of recovery.
Yes.
So we're here for you not just physically in the process of the vertigo recovery training, but also emotionally, so that you have support on the road to recovery.
That's right.
Okay. Well, any other things that we can talk about as far as the emotional intelligence work? I think it's amazing work that you're doing.
It really is. It's
Yes.
very important to know that we all have a little bit of crazy within us.
Yes.
And it's about recognizing it and then being able to manage it with certain tools, and then knowing that you can recover and move on.
Yes, agreed. Sounds great.
Yes.
Good job, Est. So with that, we could say, Woozy
Woozy
on.
on.